Your mother is crying out from heaven. And Archangel Michael says, this warning is urgent. Do not skip what she has been waiting to tell you. My child, my beloved, you are not reading this by accident. This moment was arranged. I was commanded to stand before you and speak without delay. Heaven has waited for you to pause long enough to receive this hidden message. And now it has been released with urgency because something serious is drawing near. The one who carried you, the one who still weeps in heaven for your protection, has spoken your name again. Her message must reach your heart before a dangerous situation unfolds and touches the path God prepared for you. My child, my beloved, if I do not speak this now, you may walk into a trap designed to wound your destiny. That is why I have been given authority, not to ask you softly this time, but to call your spirit awake. Open your heart and do not dismiss this like other signs you once ignored. Your mother, yes, your mother, the one watching over you from the light, has seen something hidden, and what she saw troubled even the angels. She pleaded with God to allow this one message to be sent, and heaven agreed, but only once. My child, my beloved, you may have felt her presence in your dreams lately, gentle but heavy, familiar but filled with urgency. You may have heard her voice deep in your spirit, soft and aching, or found yourself weeping without knowing why. That was not weakness. That was her trying to reach you through the veil with something your soul needed to know. If you do not receive this with full attention, the message may fade, and with it, the very warning she has been trying to bring for your protection. My child, my beloved, heaven is giving you this moment before the door closes. What I am about to say is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken you. While you were looking ahead for blessings, someone else was moving behind you with hidden intent, circling your life in silence, and your mother saw it. She stood before heaven and declared, "Not my child, not this way. Give me a way to speak." And this is it. I am the voice she has been allowed to send, and I tell you now, this warning may be your only protection. My child, my beloved, you must subscribe to this divine message channel now, not for entertainment, but for preservation. The words spoken through this voice are sent for chosen ones, and you have been marked as one. If you delay, the next message may never reach you in time. Subscribe, so the gates of heaven remain open over your life. This is not just a message. This is a lifeline. My child, my beloved, your mother is showing me a room. I see a small object, a piece of clothing or something she left behind. She says you've touched it recently. That was not random. That was her spirit, confirming what I'm saying now. She has tried every way she could, through objects, through signs, through numbers, through dreams. But this is the only message that can explain clearly what's coming and what must be stopped. My child, my beloved, there is a person near you who has smiled in front of you, but held bitterness behind you. Your mother knows their name. She has whispered it to me, but I cannot say it here because you must feel it in your spirit. You already know who it is. The Eunice you've been feeling around them is not in your imagination. That discomfort is a heavenly alarm. You are not being paranoid. You are being protected, my child, my beloved. Do not let this moment pass like the others. Heaven has fought to bring this to you. This message was blocked 3 times. 3 times it was stopped, and now it comes with urgency and a divine seal. I was ordered to speak without pause and without softening the tone, because this is no longer a suggestion. Your life is at a crossroad, and your mother's spirit is crying through eternity. Tell my child now, before it's too late. My child, my beloved, there is someone who wants to remove what belongs to you, an inheritance, a spiritual blessing, a breakthrough that I was being prepared. But your mother stood in the gap and said, no, not while I'm watching. That's why this message is here, because the attempt has already begun. But if you hear this and act with wisdom, it can still be stopped. I was shown the path it's taken, and I was also shown the path you must take instead. My child, my beloved, this message holds more than words. It holds a shield. The moment you receive it, something in the spiritual realm begins to shift. A foe lifts. A trap is exposed. A secret is revealed. And even now, as you continue reading, someone who is planning something silently is feeling disturbed. They don't know why they feel anxious, but it's because heaven has exposed their intent. My child, my beloved, there is a specific reason you are still alive right now. There is something God is trying to preserve, and your mother from heaven has seen a force trying to erase it. That is why she spoke your name before the throne. That is why her voice was heard by angels. And that is why I, Archangel Michael, have been sent not to comfort you, but to awaken you, because while everyone around you may say everything is fine in the spirit realm, a storm is trying to rise, and only one message can stop it from crossing into your life. This one, my child, my beloved. You must not ignore what's about to happen. I was shown a future that has 2 endings. 1, if you act now, and 1, if you delay. Your mother saw this too. In the past, where you ignore this voice, you face a painful betrayal, one that not only affects your heart, but tries to take something that belongs to your name, something connected to money, legacy, property, or favor. But in the path where you listen now and follow divine direction, not only is the trap avoided, but your name is clear. Spiritual contract is written in your favor. My child, my beloved, there is a silence in your family that has been screaming louder in heaven than you realize. Secrets, whispers, hidden intentions. But your mother, who sees clearly from the light, has begged for intervention. She cried before the throne for justice, not revenge. Justice. She wants to protect you from pain she could not stop when she was alive. She saw things, but stayed silent. And now in the afterlife, she regrets every moment she didn't speak. That's why she's speaking now through me and through this moment. My child, my beloved. My child, my beloved. You must not ignore what's about to happen. I was shown a future that has 2 endings. 1 if you act now, and 1 if you delay. Your mother saw this too. In the past, where you ignore this voice, you face a painful betrayal, one that not only affects your heart, but tries to take something that belongs to your name, something connected to money, legacy, property, or favor. But in the path where you listen now and follow divine direction, not only is the trap avoided, but your name is cleared. Your path is protected, and a new spiritual contract is written in your favor. My child, my beloved, there is a silence in your family that has been screaming louder in heaven than you realize. Secrets, whispers, hidden intentions. What's your mother who sees clearly from the light has begged for intervention? She cried before the throne for justice, not revenge. Justice. She wants to protect you from pain she could not stop when she was alive. She saw things, but stayed silent, and now in the afterlife, she regrets every moment she didn't speak. That's why she's speaking now through me and through this moment. My child, my beloved, there is something about a document, something written, maybe an account, maybe a contract, maybe something left behind that you never knew about. Your name was supposed to be honored, but it was erased, covered, hidden, but heaven has kept record. And your mother has asked for that hidden record to be uncovered now. This message will begin the shaking. You will notice things coming to light after this. Unexpected texts, people acting nervous, unexplained truth surfacing. That's the sign this message is working. My child, my beloved, the person who is quietly trying to remove your name will not succeed if you do not remain silent. The angels are ready to defend you, but we require your attention, your faith, and your agreement. When heaven speaks, it does not speak to entertain. It speaks to rescue. You must say out loud right now, I received this message from heaven. I will not ignore the voice of my mother or Archangel Michael. I am chosen, and I claimed that justice God has prepared for me. Say it, and something will begin to move in the realm around you. My child, my beloved, someone close to you has underestimated you. They think you are distracted, but your spirit is waking up. You have not seen their full plan yet, but you have felt it. And your mother has seen the whole thing. She showed it to the angels. She said, reveal it to my child before the damage is done. And that is what is happening now. This is divine intelligence. This is not suspicion. This is spiritual exposure. And I was told to speak it boldly to you, my child, my beloved. Subscribe now, not because you were told to, but because you were chosen to. Every message that will follow this one is part of a larger unfolding from heaven. Your mother will be watching which messages you open. Yes, even in the spirit world, attention matters. Heaven is watching where you give your focus. When you subscribe to these messages, you're subscribing to the voice of heaven. You're saying to God, speak more. I'm listening now. And when you do that, doors open, traps close, and favor starts flowing again. My child, my beloved, the pain you've been carrying is not just from this life, it's generational. Your mother carried wounds that she passed down, not on purpose, but because she didn't know how to heal them. And now she sees what that pain is doing to you. That is why she's fighting from heaven. She doesn't want you to suffer for what others ignored. She wants this pattern to end with you. You are the breaker. The chain stops here, but only if you listen and act differently than those before you. My child, my beloved, do not mistake spiritual calm for safety. The enemy is subtle, and that's what makes this moment so important. The ones who want to take what's yours are smiling right now. That's why your mother is crying. She cannot believe that someone she once trusted is planning this against you. She knows who they are, and she wants you to know that if you allow this message to go unheard, you may walk blindly into what she tried so hard to prevent. My child, my beloved, I saw a vision just now, someone placing a name on a paper, and your name missing. That paper may not seem important today, but in a few months you will remember this, and you will understand why I had to interrupt your day to bring this to you. You may feel torn between confrontation and silence, but heaven is showing you how to confront in wisdom, not in rage. When you receive truth through revelation, it gives you the power to speak without fear, and that is the armor being placed on your soul now. My child, my beloved, you don't yet know how close you came to losing something that belonged to your bloodline, something that was meant to bless you, to restore your name, to bring honor to your life after all the storms you've endured. But heaven saw what was being done behind your back, and your mother, who carries the memory of your pain, wept deeply in the heavenly courts that even the angels bowed in silence. She said, "Let me send one message, one voice, one warning before the damage becomes irreversible. This is that moment, that message, and I am the voice she chose. My child, my beloved, there is an urgency you can feel in your spirit right now. You may not have the words to describe it, but you know something is shifting, something hidden is trying to surface, and your soul has been sensing it. That is because your mother has been walking close to you in spirit these past few days. You may have even noticed little signs, unusual dreams, flashes of memory, sudden emotion. These are not random. These are divine breadcrumbs. And if you follow them, you will arrive at a truth that sets you free. My child, my beloved, there are forces in this world that feed on silence. They thrive in the shadows, moving slowly, counting on your kindness to keep you quiet. But God is not asking you to stay silent anymore. He is calling you to see clearly, to stand up and step into your rightful place. Your mother says you were always the one who had the heart to forgive, but this time you must have the courage to discern, because forgiveness does not mean blindness. And love does not mean letting people rob you in secret. My child, my beloved, my child, my beloved. There is an urgency you can feel in your spirit right now. You may not have the words to describe it, but you know something is shifting. Something hidden is trying to surface, and your soul has been sensing it. That is because your mother has been walking close to you in spirit these past few days. You may have even noticed little signs, unusual dreams, flashes of memory, sudden emotion. These are not random. These are divine breadcrumbs. And if you follow them, you will arrive at a truth that sets you free. My child, my beloved, there are forces in this world that feed on silence. They thrive in the shadows, moving slowly, counting on your kindness to keep you quiet. But God is not asking you to stay silent anymore. He is calling you to see clearly, to stand up and step into your rightful place. Your mother says you were always the one who had the heart to forgive. But this time, you must have the courage to discern, because forgiveness does not mean blindness. And love does not mean letting people rob you in secret. My child, my beloved, do you know what it means when someone in heaven fights for you? It means their prayers are no longer limited by breathe. Their intercession echoes in eternity. Your mother's voice carries power now, not just memory. She walks with angels. She sees the full picture, and the moment she saw your name being discussed by those with bad intent, she stepped into action. She didn't wait. She didn't ask politely. She demanded this message be delivered, and heaven honored her request. You are hearing this because heaven listens to a mother's cry, "My child, my beloved." You must not delay now. Every minute you stay unaware, something behind the scenes inches forward. There is a document with a signature that was meant to include you. Someone is trying to change it. I saw it clearly. I saw a hand trembling as they hesitated, then decided to remove your name. But I also saw another hand, a divine one, pause time, long enough for this message to reach you. If you act now, you can still prevent the shift, but if you wait too long, the decision may be finalized, and you will live and regret wondering why you didn't listen. My child, my beloved, your mother is showing me a time in your childhood when you felt betrayed and you didn't understand why. She wants you to know she saw your tears then, just as she sees your tears now. She is not blind to your struggle. She knows how much you've already given, how much you've sacrificed, and how much you've been taken for granted. That's why she's intervening now, because this time the loss would be too great. It's not just about money. It's about identity, about being honored, about being seen for who you truly are. My child, my beloved, there is someone who wants you to remain confused. They benefit when you doubt yourself. That's why every time you get close to clarity, a distraction shows up. But your mother is removing the fog now. And heaven is sending this moment as a speed process so the truth can no longer hide. You may not need to confront them with words, but with awareness, with wisdom, with timing. And I promise you, once you awaken to the full picture, they will no longer have power over you. My child, my beloved, you must say this out loud. I receive the message my mother in heaven is sending me. I will not ignore the signs. I will not lose what God has written in my name. I am ready for the truth, no matter how uncomfortable. When you say these words, you give heaven legal permission to act on your behalf. Yes, even heaven operates on permission. That's why prayer matters. That's why declarations matter. Say it now. Say it, and watch what begins to break. My child, my beloved, you are about to enter a season of exposure. The people who pretended to love you but secretly resented your light, they will reveal themselves without knowing they're doing it. The masks will fall, and you will not have to fight. You will only need to watch and remember your mother warned you. Your angels prepared you. And your obedience to this message positioned you for protection. This is not paranoia. This is prophecy. My child, my beloved. When you clicked on this message, something already shifted in your favor. A delay was broken. A lie was weakened. And even now, someone who had spoken against you is feeling uncomfortable without understanding why. That's because their words are being canceled in the spirit realm. The curse is reversing. The hidden trap is collapsing. But your job is not finished. You must walk forward with boldness and listen to every instruction that follows this message. Subscribe. Listen. Prepare. Because what happens next will surprise even you. My child, my beloved, your mother is showing me the way you sit in silence sometimes. wondering if anyone truly understands what you're going. She remembers that silence. She felt it once too. She says to you, now, I am not gone, my child. I am just on the other side of the veil, fighting for you in ways I never could before. There is something she sees from where she is. A shadow moving in someone's intention. They smile at you in person, but they are rewriting truths when you're not in the room. And this is what your mother refuses to allow any longer. That's why you are reading these words now. This isn't warning. This is intervention. My child, my beloved. They think you won't notice. They think you will stay asleep. But what they don't know is that heaven is wide awake, and your name is written in light. The angels have surrounded what's yours, but your awareness is needed too. Because if you sleep through this moment, the door will remain open for manipulation. What if you rise spiritually, emotionally, mentally? Then they will be stopped. Your mother is asking you to wake up not in fear but in strength. To see what you were never meant to carry. Enter. Reclaim what you didn't even know was being taken. My child, my beloved. You may feel overwhelmed. That's normal when light starts exposing darkness, but remember this. The person trying to erase you is not stronger than the voice speaking through this message. God's voice overrules all deception. And when a message is sent from heaven, with your mother's tears woven into its words, there is no human plan that can succeed. Seed against it. But this message must not be just heard. It must be acted upon. You must choose to see, choose to speak up, choose to follow the signs that are now about to multiply. My child, my beloved, my child, my beloved. They think you won't notice. They think you will stay asleep. But what they don't know is that heaven is wide awake, and your name is written in light. The angels have surrounded what's yours, but your awareness is needed too. Because if you sleep through this moment, the door will remain open for manipulation. But if you rise spiritually, emotionally, mentally, then they will be stopped. Your mother is asking you to wake up not in fear but in strength, to see what you were never meant to carry, and to reclaim what you didn't even know was being taken. My child, my beloved. You may feel overwhelmed. That's normal when light starts exposing darkness. But remember this, the person trying to erase you is not stronger than the voice speaking through this message. God's voice overrules all deception. And when a message is sent from heaven with your mother's tears woven into its words, there is no human plan that can exceed against it. But this message must not be just heard, it must be acted upon. You must choose to see, choose to speak up, choose to follow the signs that are now about to multiply. My child, my beloved. Soon someone will make a mistake. Sleep. A message meant for someone else will come to you. A sentence spoken by accident will confirm what your mother already knew. Don't react in rage. Respond in wisdom. That confirmation is not your cue to fight. It's your cue to pivot, to position yourself, to reclaim your spiritual ground, and to walk away from what no longer deserves your silence. Heaven is not preparing you to destroy anyone. Heaven is preparing you to protect yourself and your legacy. My child, my beloved. The inheritance of peace that your mother tried to give you is still available, but there are people near you who feed on confusion. That's why every time you begin to feel free, they try to pull you back in with guilt or obligation. But God says, not this time. This time, I will send my archangel to break the illusion, and I will reveal the plan before it becomes a weapon. That is why you are seeing this now. It's not a coincidence. It's a divine unveiling. And if you receive it fully, the spiritual atmosphere around your life will begin to shift. My child, my beloved, do not let the past trick you into thinking you are powerless. You are not. You are positioned in this moment for a divine reversal. The one who thought they could manipulate your destiny is about to watch their plan fall apart. But this is not about revenge. This is about redemption. Your mother is not calling for punishment. She is calling for your protection. That's the difference. And heaven always honors the voice of one who loves without bitterness. She forgives them, but she refuses to let you be used. My child, my beloved, if you've been feeling exhausted, unusually forgetful, or emotionally pulled in different directions, that's not just life. That's spiritual interference. Your energy has been leaking through unseen cracks. You've been unknowingly absorbing stress that doesn't belong to you. Your mother sees it. She says, enough. I will not allow them to drain my child anymore. And that's why I was sent to seal the cracks, to end the confusion, to call your soul back into divine clar. That clarity begins now as you say yes to this message. My child, my beloved, there is a window opening, and it will not stay open forever. I don't say this to frighten you, but to alert you. Heaven moves and patterns and seasons. This moment is a season of exposure, of clarity, of divine justice, but justice requires action. You must not wait until things fall apart before you decide to listen. You must listen now while there is still time to prevent loss. Subscribe, because what's coming next is part 2 of your protection. What you'll receive after this is not just information, it's divine timing. My child, my beloved, the spiritual war you are in did not start yesterday. It began generations ago. Your family has repeated patterns of betrayal, control, and hidden truths. Your mother tried to break it, but she didn't have the tools. Now she does, because from heaven she has seen everything. She has cried out, "Let this chain break with my child. Let no more deception pass through our name." That's why this message carries such weight. It isn't just about you. It's about ending a cycle that has stolen from your bloodline for decades. My child, my beloved, there is a secret in your family that has been kept for too long. A financial decision, a name removed, an agreement made in silence. Your mother tried to reveal it while she was alive, but fear kept her quiet. Now she has no fear, and neither should you. This message will begin to unlock what she could not say. Things will begin surfacing not because of coincidence, but because heaven has ordered them to. But you must be spiritually awake to see what is being revealed. Because what's coming is not just truth, it's your vindication. My child, my beloved, your mother is standing in the presence of light. As I speak, she is no longer bound by the limitations of time or human silence. She is filled with divine clarity now. She can see what you cannot, and she has asked the Most High to intervene, to send this message directly to your spirit before the lies become louder than truth. You've been so close to giving up, not even realizing that your silence was being used as permission for others to house boundaries. But this is where the line is drawn. not by your strength, by hers, through me. My child, my beloved, there are things you deserve to know, things you were kept from. You have quietly asked yourself why the full truth was never given to you. Heaven heard that question, and your mother heard it too. The ache behind it reached beyond the veil, carrying a pain that could no longer remain unanswered. That ache gave her permission to speak again. She has waited for this moment to show you what she could not say while she was here. Some secrets were carried, not from cruelty, but because she feared they would burden your heart. But now, silence would be more dangerous than truth. My child, my beloved, your mother stands in the presence of light as this message reaches you. She is no longer bound by time, fear, earthly limits, or human silence. She now sees with divine clarity. She understands what you could not see, and she has asked the Most High to intervene, sending this message directly to your spirit before the lies surrounding you grow louder than the truth. You have been close to giving up, not realizing that your silence was being used as permission for others to cross boundaries they were never meant to touch. But this is where the line is drawn, not by your strength alone, but through hers. My child, my beloved, there are things you deserve to know, things that were hidden from you for too long. You have quietly wondered why no one told you everything, and heaven did not ignore that question rising from your soul. Your mother heard it, and the pain behind that question reached beyond the veil. That pain is what allowed her to speak again. Because love does not end when a soul leaves the earth. It continues to protect what it once carried. She has waited for this opportunity to reveal what she could not explain while she was here. Some truths were kept back, not because she wanted you blind, but because she believed she was sparing you from a heavier burden. But now, keeping silent would place you in greater danger than knowing the truth. My child, my beloved, someone in your bloodline believes their actions will never be exposed. They think time has covered what heaven still remembers. They think you will never dig deep enough to discover what they erased. But what they didn't account for is the fact that heaven keeps record, and your mother knows where every document, every transaction, every spoken agreement lives. She has seen them. She knows who signed what. She knows what was hidden, and she knows whose name was supposed to be honored. Yours. She is not speaking now for revenge. She is speaking for restoration. My child, my beloved, you may have wondered if what you've lost will ever return. You've cried over years that felt stolen over love, that was not given back over money that vanished without Polynesian. But God does not forget, and your mother has reminded him of every single moment you stayed silent, every time you chose peace over payback. Heaven has kept score not to punish others, but to bless you. And now is the time of release. This message is the signal that the divine reversal is beginning, and the ones who tried to erase you are about to be stunned by the way God reestablishes your name. My child, my beloved, there will be proof. This will not just be a message of hope. It will become a testimony of confirmation. You are going to overhear a conversation, find a document, or witness a moment that you were never supposed to see. And in that moment, you'll know with unshakable clarity, this is what my mother tried to warn me about. And you will weep not from fear, but from the overwhelming awareness that heaven truly sees you, that your life was never invisible, that God never forgot. My child, my beloved, there is someone who has tried to downplay your voice, to discredit your knowing, to mock your intuition. But what they didn't understand is that your discernment is heaven's gift. It cannot be shut down by opinions. And your mother's voice is now amplifying that discernment. The gut feeling you've had that something isn't right, that something isn't finished, was the whisper of heaven, and now it's being confirmed with thunder. The same people who dismissed your intuition are about to witness the unfolding of prophecy. My child, my beloved, you've been surviving in a world of confusion, and heaven says it ends now. Clarity is coming to you like a rushing wind. After this message, you will begin to see patterns that were invisible before. Connections will be made in your spirit. You'll remember small moments, a glance, a sentence, a forgotten date, and it will all begin to make sense. Your mother is saying, look again. You missed it before because you weren't supposed to see it then. But now the veil is lifting. Now you are ready to know. My child, my beloved, say this again. I am not afraid of truth. I am not afraid of clarity. I was born to see what others tried to keep from me. I claim my inheritance, both spiritual and natural. I welcome the voice of my mother from heaven, and I follow the guidance of Archangel Michael. Say it boldly. Your voice matters in the spirit realm. Every declaration you make is like a sword cutting through lies. Speak, and the angels respond. Stay silent, and the shadows grow bolder. But today you are choosing to rise. My child, my beloved, I see a bank. I see a locked file. Can I see a name that was meant to be there, but was replaced? This may not even be literal in your current moment. It may be symbolic, a blessing, a birthright, a door that was meant to be yours, and someone else tried to claim it, but your mother in heaven has found it. She is standing before the throne, holding that file, weeping, saying, please, Lord, give Skip back to my child. And the Lord has spoken. Let the angel of war deliver this message, and if the child receives it, restoration shall begin immediately. My child, my beloved, you don't need to chase revenge. You only need to stand in truth. You don't need to expose anyone yourself. Heaven will, but you must stay close. Stay connected. Keep your spiritual eyes open. But because it is divine strategy, each message that follows this one will be a key, and the more you listen, the more locks will break. There is a chain of revelation about to fall into your hands. You will know what others do not, and that knowledge will set you free and protect what is rightfully yours. My child, my beloved, there are moments in life when time bends, when everything slows just enough for a message like this to slip through thee. And this is one of those moments. You were pulled here by more than curiosity. You were summoned, because if you don't hear this now, something important may slip past you. Still holds a piece of your future in their hand, and your mother in heaven is saying, my child must not be blind to this any longer. This is her whisper wrapped in my voice, cutting through every distraction, demanding that you open your spiritual eyes. My child, my beloved, my child, my beloved, I want to tell you something very important. Your mother, who is now in heaven, has seen something you cannot see it. Someone close to you, someone in your own family is planning something behind your back. They are trying to take what is yours quietly, the thing you will never find out. But your mother, it's from heaven, and she cried out for you. That's why Archangel Michael was sent. This is your warning, not to scare you, but to protect you. You have been feeling something strange, literally. A heaviness, a body, like something is not right. That is not just in your mind. That is your spirit sensing what is happening in the unseen. Your mother has been trying to reach you. Dog dreams. Put southern motion to silence. Thought this voice. She's saying, please don't ignore this. Please open your eyes. They are talking something from you, but is not too late. This message is your movement to act, to stay alert, to stop giving your trust to the wrong people. Heaven wants to restore everything that was meant for you, but you must walk in truth. You must choose to believe what your spirit already knows. And if you do only, will the trap feel, but a blessing will begin. My child, my beloved, you don't need to chase revenge. You only need to stand in truth. You don't need to expose anyone yourself. Heaven will, but you must stay close. Stay connected. Keep your spiritual eyes open. But because it is divine strategy, each message that follows this one will be a key, and the more you listen, the more locks will break. There is a chain of revelation about to fall into your hands. You will know what others do not, and that knowledge will set you free and protect what is rightfully yours, my child, my beloved. There are moments in life when time bends, when everything slows just enough for a message like this to slip through and this is one of those moments. You were pulled here by more than curiosity. You were summoned. Because if you don't hear this now, something important may slip past you. Still holds a piece of your future in their hand, and your mother in heaven is saying, my child must not be blind to this any longer. This is her whisper wrapped in my voice, cutting through every distraction, demanding that you open your spiritual, my child, my beloved. Someone thought they could replace you, not only in their heart, but on paper, in legacy, in recognition. They thought you were too soft, too distracted, too distant to notice. They relied on your absence to claim presence. But what they didn't know, what they could never know, is that you are watched over by a mother who now sees from heaven. She does not blink, she does not forget, and she does not forgive betrayal when it comes for her child. She petitioned heaven for a moment like this, and it has finally come. This message is the result of that holy petition. My child, my beloved, you are not reading this because you were weak. You are reading this because you are finally strong enough to carry the truth. For years, you were protected by silence, but silence has now turned into a risk. Heaven can no longer allow you to be surrounded by people whose smiles are false and whose actions are meant to drain you. That is why this message is arriving like a sword, not to hurt you, but to sever what should have been cut a long time ago. This is divine separation from the ones who keep taking from you in secret while pretending to honor you in public. My child, my beloved, there is a blessing with your name on it, and I have seen the scroll. It was written in light, sealed with fire, and buried under layers of delay by those who feared what would happen if you knew the truth. But your mother, she found it. She demanded that it be brought to the surface, Archangel Michael, to carry this scroll into your life with authority. That's why you can feel your heart pounding. That's why you feel heat in your hands or tears in your eyes. Something sacred is reaching through. You are being awakened, my child, my beloved. The days ahead will bring signs, some subtle, others undeniable. You'll feel like certain people are avoiding you suddenly, not because you've done anything wrong, but because their spirit senses you are beginning to see. This message is light, and when light enters a room, shadows retreat. You will see them withdraw. Don't chase. Watch. Be still. Let them reveal their truth through silence. This is your mother's strategy. She doesn't want you to fight. She wants you to notice. Heaven wins not through noise, but through knowing. My child, my beloved, you are about to be tested in the most unexpected way. A person who once betrayed you may return with a false apology. Your mother's voice says, listen, but do not lower your guard. Feel, but do not surrender what you've learned. This is a test, not a reunion. And this message is your preparation. If you fall for guilt, you will give up what you just began to regain. But if you stand in your light, their plan will unravel. You are not who you used to be. You are sharper now. Your discernment is maturing. You are finally becoming what your mother prayed you'd grow into, unshakable. My child, my beloved, something inside you already knows this is real. You've ignored that inner voice before, and it cost you time, peace, and truth. But this time, your mother doesn't want you to ignore it. She says this time, don't doubt your knowing. This time, trust the fire I've placed in you. That fire is not just intuition. It is your divine compass. It burns when something is wrong. It warms when you are in alignment. Listen to that fire. It's one of heaven's gifts. And right now it is burning brightly because this message is striking your soul exactly where it's been waiting. My child, my beloved, there is more coming. This is only the first page of a divine file being opened over your life. Subscribe now, not for ritual, but for preservation, because your mother is not done speaking. There is a part 2, part 3. Heaven is rolling out, scrolls in sequence, and if you miss even one you met, miss the exact confirmation you've been waiting for. Each message is a lock being undone, and the final one will be the breakthrough. But you must walk with this message in your spirit now, or the others will not be revealed. My child, my beloved, I was commanded to say this, not suggested. Heaven didn't say invite them. Heaven said deliver it as an order. That is why I am not asking you. I am telling you, open your heart. Open your spirit. Receive this, because what is coming may not wait for you to catch up. There is grace right now, but it moves, and when grace shifts, opportunity can be lost. Your mother's voice is strong now, but you must echo it by listening, acting, and staying aligned. This is how protection flows. This is how restoration begins. This is how cycles are broken. And this is how inheritance is recovered, not by fighting people, but by listening to heaven. My child, my beloved, you have no idea how close you were to losing something sacred. A door you didn't even know was meant for you, almost closed without a sound. But your mother, the same one who once held you in the quiet of night, stood between that closing door and your destiny. She cried out for heaven to wait. She cried out for God to pause everything. And because of her voice, I was sent. I was ordered to deliver this warning before the door shuts for good. You must understand, this is not an ordinary message. This is heaven interrupting earth to save what still belongs to you. My child, my beloved, my child, my beloved. I was commanded to say this, not suggested. Heaven didn't say, invite them. Heaven said, deliver it as an order. That is why I'm not asking you. I am telling you, open your heart. Open your spirit. Receive this, because what is coming may not wait for you to catch up. There is grace right now, but it moves. And when grace shifts, opportunity can be lost. Your mother's voice is strong now, but you must echo it by listening, acting, and staying aligned. This is how protection flows. This is how restoration begins. This is how cycles are broken. And this is how inheritance is recovered, not by fighting people, but by listening to heaven. My child, my beloved. You have no idea how close you were to losing something sacred. A door you didn't even know was meant for you, almost closed without a sound. But your mother, the same one who once held you in the quiet of night, stood between that closing door and she cried out for heaven to wait. She cried out for God to pause everything. And because of her voice, I was sent. I was ordered to deliver this warning before the door shuts for good. You must understand, this is not an ordinary message. This is heaven interrupting earth to save what still belongs to you. My child, my beloved, there are those who believe your silence is weakness, that your kindness is foolishness, that because you don't always speak, you must not see, but heaven is making sure that now you see everything. The veils are falling, the masks are slipping, and the truth is about to rise like a flood. Your mother has whispered the names in my ear. I cannot say them, but your spirit already knows. That heaviness you feel around certain people is not in your imagination, it is confirmation. And now with this message you are being armed with eyes that no lie can blind. My child, my beloved, they were waiting for you to give up, to walk away, to say maybe it was never mine. They planned everything around your surrender. But your mother's love stopped that moment. She refused to let your breakthrough be handed to someone else simply because you were tired. She has seen your tears. She knows the silent battles. She stood before the courts of heaven and said, my child has suffered in silence long enough. Give me one chance to speak. This is that chance. Her voice, her fire, her love pouring into these words, so you finally awakened and take back what they tried to erase. My child, my beloved, your breakthrough has a timestamp, and that time is now. Delay will no longer be tolerated by heaven. God is moving, but you must move too. This message was sent in perfect timing, not a second too early, not a second too late. If you ignore it, you will feel it not as punishment, but as consequence. That's why I was not told to comfort you this time. I was told to order you open this. Listen. Watch, because the people who have played with your name, your future, your legacy, they're running out of time. And your mother refuses to let them write your story's ending. My child, my beloved, she has seen what you're about to walk into. A room, a decision, a person you thought you could trust. And she is pleading. Now don't go in blind. Don't walk in assuming innocence. See clearly. Listen carefully, because something will be said in that moment, and you will remember this message. And that one sentence will tell you everything. If you are spiritually awake, you'll catch it. But if you're distracted, it'll slip past you. This is why she sent me ahead of time. To make sure your soul is ready, my child, my beloved. Heaven is not asking you to be suspicious. Heaven is commanding you to be alert. Alert to the patterns. Alert to the people who always return when they need something, but vanish when you do. Alert to the ones who speak your name in public, but delete you in private. Your mother has watched you be used by people who knew your heart was soft, and she is done watching. This message is her rebellion against what the enemy thought he could get away with. It is her battle cry through the veil, and it is echoing in your soul for a reason. My child, my beloved, I see her standing barefoot on heavenly ground, holding the name that was stolen from you in her hands, presenting it. Play back to the angels singing, "Return this to my child." Let them walk in what I never could. Let them receive what I prayed for in secret, and heaven said yes. But there is one condition. You must not ignore the signs anymore. You must not stay connected to what drains you. You must not stay silent when you're being erased. Your obedience to this message is the final key. Say yes, and everything begins to shift. My child, my beloved, you are not late. You are right on time. They wanted you to believe. You missed your moment. But heaven was only waiting until your heart was strong enough to handle this truth. Now you're ready. Now you can handle what you couldn't before. That's why your mother had to wait, not because God was ignoring her, but because He knew you needed strength to carry the sword that truth would become. And now you're ready to lift it. Not to hurt, but to separate yourself from everything and everyone who no longer aligns with where you're going. My child, my beloved, this is your line in the sand. After this moment, things will not feel the same. And that's not bad. It's divine. You're going to lose the taste for certain people's energy. You're going to walk away from conversations halfway through, not out of pride, but out of clarity. You're going to say no without guilt, and your soul will breathe again. That is your mother's wish for you to finally breathe again. Without fear, without confusion, without guilt. This message is her kiss on your forehead, her hand on your back, her voice in your spine saying, "Rise, my child, my beloved." They will not understand what is happening. They will say, "You have changed," and they will be right. Because light always looks unfamiliar to those who have grown comfortable living around shadows, but you were not born to blend in. Stay silent, or let others take your peace while you keep smiling politely. You were born for divine clarity, and now that clarity is rising through you with strength, heaven already recognized. Your mother is smiling. Heaven is rejoicing. And I, Archangel Michael, stand beside you with my sword drawn. This is not only a new season in your life, this is your awakening deed hymn. The moment your spirit remembers its authority, my child, my beloved, this is what your mother wants you to know most. She always saw greatness in you. Even in the moments she did not say it aloud, she always knew you were the one chosen to carry the light forward. She is proud of you, still watching over you, and still fighting for you from heaven. Now it is time to move ahead. Do not look back. And do not wait for others to believe in you before you believe what heaven has already spoken. Your mother already chose to stand with you. And I, Archangel Michael, have been assigned to remain by your side. I will defend you, guide you, and protect what belongs to you as you walk into what God has prepared. The moment you open this message, something shifted in the spirit. A trap was stopped, a secret was exposed, and a miracle was released. But what happens next depends on how you respond to this holy confirmation. Stay connected, stay alert, and keep your spirit open, because more messages will come. With each one, heaven will reveal deeper truth, stronger protection, and greater blessings prepared specifically for your life. Amen. Warning from heaven. Archangel Michael says, something serious is moving into your life right now. And Jesus is commanding your spirit to listen before the next 15 minutes pass. My child, my beloved, this message is not accidental. Before you take another breath, understand this clearly. This warning was blocked from reaching you more than once. But heaven overruled the resistance, and now it has finally found its way before your eyes at the appointed moment. You did not stumble upon this by chance. This was arranged because something serious is already moving toward your life. And though you cannot see it yet, heaven can. I, Michael, the Archangel of protection, have been guarding your path. I have been standing between you and the darkness, trying to reach your life. But what approaches now is different. It is not merely a shadow passing near you. It is tied to decisions being made by others behind your back. That is why Jesus himself is commanding this message to be opened before the next 15 minutes are gone. What happens after this window could either bless you beyond imagination or wound you in ways your soul is not prepared to carry. You must not ignore this. My child, my beloved, two people are involved in what is about to unfold. One knows you deeply, while the other envies you in silence, hiding their feelings behind ordinary words and familiar behavior. Both are connected to your life in a way that gave them access to something they never should have touched. I am not speaking in riddles now. I am speaking plainly because heaven has waited long enough to reveal the truth. The reason your money feels blocked, the reason your joy feels delayed, the reason sleep feels disturbed is because of something hidden, something silent, something that wears familiar face but carries a deceiving intention, and I was not allowed to speak this before. But now, by divine order, I must reveal what has been seen in heaven's records. My child, my beloved, before I go further, I asked you to stop and listen to the whisper in your spirit. Do you feel it, don't you? That strange sense of urgency. That feeling that you're being pulled towards something important, but you don't know what. That's not anxiety. That's heaven trying to shake you awake. That's the voice of God, brushing against your heart, saying, don't walk away from this again. You have skipped messages before and thought maybe later, but this one is different. This is not just about inspiration. This is about intervention. This is a divine interception designed to prevent a tragedy you won't recover from easily. My child, my beloved. Speech balloon. If your soul knows this is for you, if your spirit is stirring right now, then subscribe to this voice of heaven immediately, not just to hear more messages, but so heaven knows that you're listening, because what comes next is the part they tried to stop, but God says, release it. My child, my beloved. There's a hidden place where your name has been spoken, not in prayer, but in strategy, and that's what changes everything. You see, when a person speaks your name in love, it brings favor, but when a person speaks your name in selfishness, it creates a ripple of resistance, and two people connected by blood or bonded by time have made choices that were never theirs to make about what belongs to you. I don't want to frighten you. I want to prepare you because I have seen what's coming. If this continues unchecked, one of them is draining your favorite spiritually through silent jealousy, through bitter agreement with voices that want to limit you, and the other has already taken something that had your name on it. A blessing, apportion, an opportunity. You were meant to receive it. They intercepted it, but heaven is ready to reverse it all. If you follow this next part closely, my child, my beloved, there is a reason you feel like your blessings are always close, but never quite in your hands. There is a reason it feels like you're fighting something invisible. And now I'm exposing it. Your life is under surveillance. Not by the government, but by spiritual forces who want to delay your inheritance, because they know once you touch what God has written in your name, you won't be controlled anymore. Once you rise, you'll set others free. That's why they want to keep you struggling. But that ends tonight, not by accident, but by awakening, by obedience, by stepping into divine instruction, and not second-guessing at this time. Heaven is preparing a reversal, but your agreement is the key that unlocks it. My child, my beloved, the reason this message is urgent is not just because of what's happening around you, but because of what's happening within you. Your spirit has been under pressure lately. Unexplainable weight, strange thoughts, unpredictable emotions, sudden fears you can't trace. And now you know why. Something has been circling your life for weeks. It wasn't allowed to touch you until today, and that's why this message could not wait. Because the moment this spiritual threshold is crossed, what was hidden will become visible. If you don't act before that moment, you will lose your chance to protect what is rightfully yours. I say this not as a warning to scare you, but as a divine announcement from heaven's throne. Jesus himself is watching what you will do in the next few minutes. That's how serious this is. Heaven doesn't send a message like this unless the soul it's meant for is walking dangerously close to something that must be stopped. And right now, beloved, that soul is you, my child, my beloved. Let me reveal the part no one wants to admit. Sometimes the deepest betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It comes from the ones who know your soft spots. It comes from the ones you grew up trusting, the ones who pretend to support you, but secretly sabotage your peace. One of them is about to be revealed to you, not through drama, but through spiritual clarity. This person has been holding your name in their mouth while smiling in your face. They've been asking questions about your future that they have no right to ask. They've been speaking to someone else about your money, your life, your dreams, and they've paint-wended a picture that puts them in your seat. That's what heaven showed me. They don't want you to succeed. They want to control where your blessing goes. And they've started making decisions on your behalf without your permission. But I've come to take it back. Not with revenge, with revelation, because God does not expose to embarrass. He exposes to protect. My child, my beloved, My child, my beloved, you've been feeling like something is about to happen, and you're right. But what you didn't know is that two versions of your future are now being weighed in the spirit realm. One version includes breakthrough, favor, joy, peace, and a reversal of every hardship you faced. The other version includes more delay, more confusion, and an open door for those who wish to take what was never theirs. What determines which version unfolds is your decision in this exact moment, your awareness, your spiritual yes. This message is not a warning to panic, it's a divine choice, and heaven is watching to see what you will do. My child, my beloved, your name has power, not just on earth, but in heaven, and even in hell they tremble when your name is spoken with authority. But lately, your name has been spoken with envy, with criticism, with hidden plans attached to it. Someone close to you has used your name not in prayer, but in control. They have tried to manipulate how others see you, and worse, they've manipulated how you see yourself. But that stops today, because I am ripping the mask off their intentions. I am exposing what was said in secret, not to shame, but to protect Nautica's conflict, but to give you freedom. The truth is being released, so you can be released. My child, my beloved, there is a reason why you've been stuck in cycles, why the same struggle keeps repeating, why blessings seem to come so close only to vanish. It's because you've been surrounded by people who speak in circles, empty words, with no spiritual, virtual power. And without realizing it, you gave them access to your sacred space, but now God is reclaiming that space. He is cleaning the spiritual atmosphere around your life. The people who do not belong in your next chapter are being spiritually removed one by one. And if it hurts, let it. Because this pain is protection. This pruning is preparation. You are not being punished. You are being purified. My child, my beloved, I saw what they planned for you. I saw the dates they circled. I saw the conversation where they said, "Don't worry, they'll never find out." I saw the account that was supposed to be yours. I saw the money that had your name spiritually tagged. I saw the door that was being locked behind your back. But I also saw God slam his hand on the table and say no more. I saw him stand up and declare over you, "That's enough. Restore what was stolen." And now I come to you with that decree in my hands. But I cannot deliver what you do not receive. I cannot restore what you won't claim, and I cannot protect what you refuse to acknowledge. My child, my beloved, the next few hours of your life are going to determine the next few years. Yes, it's that serious. Would you choose to see, believe, and act on today? Will decide if you walk in overflow, low, or continue in opposition. That's why Jesus said, this message must reach you now, not later. Later is too dangerous. Later may be too late. The spiritual momentum is already building. Your angels are already moving. Your name is already being reviewed by the council of heaven. This is not just a message, it is a spiritual rescue, and you were chosen to receive it. My child, my beloved, there is a light trying to break through your darkness right now, and I know you can feel it. The air around your life is shifting. Something invisible has begun to stir. It is not just coincidence. It is not just emotion. It is heaven. Moving, breathing, speaking directly into your soul through this moment. And I, Archangel Michael, have been sent to guard this moment, so it cannot be interrupted. Because the decision you make after reading this, whether you open your heart fully or scroll, ask quickly, will be remembered in the spirit realm. It will decide if what was blocked will be released or rerouted. That is why this is urgent. That is why Jesus has commanded this message to reach you before the next 15 minutes are gone. Not to frighten you, but to save you from losing what you've already waited too long for. My child, my beloved, you must understand how rare this is. Heaven does not open messages like this for everyone. This was not broadcast to the world. It was whispered into the hands of angels and delivered to only a few, because what is at stake in your life is not small. There is an entire future forming, one that changes not just your finances, not just what's your reputation, but the direction of your lineage. Yes, this goes far beyond you. What you do now will affect the generations after you. There is a blessing trying to enter your home that doesn't just bless you, it breaks every curse that is that over your family for decades. But the blessing will not enter a home filled with hidden betrayal. And that's why this message had to come first. My child, my beloved, I saw it. I saw the moment the blessing was scheduled to fall. I saw the exact time the door was going to open. I saw the favor that was heading to your bank account, to your relationships, to your body, to your dreams. And I saw something else, a figure silent and clothes standing at the edge, trying to take it before it reached you. This person didn't look like a thief. They looked familiar. That's what makes this dangerous. They didn't come with loud accusations. They came with quiet entitlement, and they've slowly positioned themselves to receive what they know deep down was meant for you. But now the truth is being unsealed. My child, my beloved, some of the pain you've been carrying lately isn't even yours. It's the result of other people's spiritual choices leaking into your life. You've been absorbing confusion that didn't originate in your own heart. You've been feeling heaviness that's not even connected to your path. It's because someone who's supposed to support you is spiritually connected to you, but not aligned with God's plan for you. They are out of alignment, and it is affecting your peace, your clarity, and your ability to move forward. But today, heaven is granting you the gift of spiritual separation. You will begin to feel distance, not as rejection, but as redirection. You will begin to see people for who they truly are, not to judge them, but to discern them, because you cannot carry everyone into your destiny, especially not those secretly carrying plans to delay you. My child, my beloved, my child, my beloved, let me reveal the part no one wants to admit. Sometimes the deepest betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It comes from the ones who know your soft spots. It comes from the ones you grew up trusting, the ones who pretend to support you but secretly sabotage your peace. One of them is about to be revealed to you, not through drama, but through spiritual clar. This person has been holding your name in their mouth while smiling in your face. They've been asking questions about your future that they have no right to ask. They've been speaking to someone else about your money, your life, your dreams, and they've haven't a picture that puts them in your seat. That's what heaven showed me. They don't want you to succeed. They want to control where your blessing goes. And they've started making decisions on your behalf without your permission, but I've come to take it back. Not with revenge, with revelation, because God does not expose to embarrass, He exposes to protect. My child, my beloved, there are conversations happening behind closed doors, and they're not about your good. Someone is asking, what if they never find out, but haven't already has? That's why this message is reaching you at the exact second it's supposed to. This is not about guessing or suspicion. This is about evidence from the spirit realm. The records are clear. The plans are set. The darkness has marked a date, but God just interrupted it. Because your name is still written in light. Because your promise is still secure. Because what belongs to you spiritually, financially, emotionally can still be restored, but only if you see what's coming before it hits. Only if you hear the voice of the one sent to protect you. And I'm shouting louder now than ever before, because the time is almost gone. And if you delay, you'll miss the shift. My child, my beloved, you keep wondering why some things are always just out of reach, why the money comes and disappears, why the good news arrives and then suddenly turns to confusion. It's not just bad luck. It's not just life. It's interference. It's sabotage. And the reason you haven't seen it is because they've been doing it through smiles, through quiet withdrawals, through disguised concern. But heaven doesn't look at appearances. Heaven looks at heart motives. And what we've seen is a scheme to keep you stuck. But God is tired of watching you suffer while pretending to be strong. You've held it in long enough. And now heaven is releasing a divine rescue, but only if you obey the voice speaking to you right now. You may never get this moment again. My child, my beloved, I will say this clearly. The financial blessing you've been waiting for has already been with your, but it was intercepted, diverted, not by mistake, but by someone who believed you would never notice. Someone who saw how close you were to stepping into increase and got afraid. And instead of blessing you, they blocked you. But this message is, you're unblocking. This is your reversal. This is your moment of reclamation. The wealth that was diverted will be restored. The door that was shot will be opened. The peace that was stolen will return. But you must not scroll past this. You must not say, I'll come back to it later. Because spiritual windows don't stay open forever. And this one is closing in less than 15 minutes. Heaven is waiting to see if you lacked or ignore. My child, my beloved, you've been strong for too long, and heaven has seen every silent tear you've cried when no one was looking. You've tried to tell yourself, it's going to be okay. You smiled through the storms. You've prayed even when your faith felt small. And now is the time when that faith must speak louder than fear. Because I, Archangel Michael, have been sent not to comfort you only, but to alert you. A spiritual danger is walking toward you wearing a familiar face. And what makes it dangerous is not just its presence, but its timing. Because right now, you are closer than you've ever been to divine breakthrough. The moment your name is supposed to be called for restoration, for abundance, for divine justice, that is the exact moment the enemy sends confusion disguised as affection. And unless you discern what's happening, you will welcome in what was meant to be cast out. That is why I was commanded by the Most High to warn you before the next 15 minutes are gone. Because the shift is already happening. This is your window. This is your escape. This is your rescue, wrapped in a message that may not come again. My child, my beloved, do you feel the strange heaviness that entered your home recently? The way your atmosphere feels different, the way your peace feels disturbed, the way you second-guess things that used to feel clear. That is not a coincidence. That is spiritual pollution. Something has been spiritually placed in your path to delay and detour. But God allowed you to feel it so you would wake up to it. That's why your soul has felt so uneasy. That's why your dreams have been intense. Because what's coming is not just another small storm, it's a setup meant to rob you of what was written with your name in heaven. And now the alarm is sounding. I know this message feels strong. I know it's unlike anything you've heard before. But that's because it's not meant to entertain you. It's meant to awaken you. I am not here to scare you. I'm here to save you. If you wait too long, you'll understand the message only through pain. But if you act now, you will understand it through miracle. My child, my beloved, I must tell you the truth with no filter. The divine money that was supposed to enter your life has been touched by people who said they were for you, touched by people who laugh with you, but cried out behind your back because they couldn't handle your light. These people are not strangers. That's what makes this betrayal so dangerous. They are closed 1/10 to admire you. The other pretends to protect you. But neither of them truly want you to walk in your full power. And now they have laid their hands spiritually on what does not belong to them. Your inheritance, your provision, and your destiny have been touched by hands that never had permission. But listen carefully, those hands can still be removed if your eyes open in time. My child, my beloved, heaven is not too late. Do you remember the opportunity you believed you missed? The job that vanished, the deal that collapsed, or the sudden financial struggle that hit your life without warning? You thought it was random, and you blamed yourself in silence, but it was not your fault. It was interference. Someone placed their eyes, their energy, and their control over an open door meant for you, and that door slammed shut. Yet heaven kept record. And now that door is being reopened. The new door will be greater than the first. And it will not come with hidden strings attached. It will arrive faster than before. But only if you move with God now and refuse to treat this moment like something ordinary. This is not motivation. This is divine movement. My child, my beloved, someone has been watching your life closely, studying your steps, copying your voice, and trying to mirror what heaven placed uniquely inside you. They are not watching because they truly admire you. They are watching because they want what was meant for you. The truth is, they were never supposed to know about that blessing. But someone close to you spoke too freely. Someone from your own circle shared private details about your calling with a person who had no right to hear them. Now a copy spirit is circling, trying to step into a place God reserved only for your name and your assignment. But what they do not understand is that heaven does not reward impersonators. God blesses the original, and you, beloved, are the original. No one can carry your light, your oil, or your divine imprint the way you do. No one can replace what was poured over your name. But if you remain silent, asleep, or slow to awaken, they may try to take what should have reached your hands. That is why this warning has come with urgency, my child. My beloved, I see your exhaustion. I see how hard you have tried to stay positive when nothing made sense. I see how you poured into others until you felt empty. While heaven quietly prepared to pour back into you, I see the way you feel forgotten by the same people you've been loyal to. And I know it hurts. But heaven is not blind. God has been watching every seed you've sown in silence, every tear you've cried in private, every moment you smile while secretly suffering. And child, it's not in vain. The reward that's coming will silence every mocker, expose every pretender, and elevate you. You without your enemies understanding how. But first, this moment must be honored. My child, my beloved, you've been asking for a sign, a clear word, something that doesn't feel confusing, something you can hold on to. And God says, this is it. This message is not a coincidence. It's not a vague warning. It's not generic. It is sacred, specific, and it carries your rescue. What I am delivering to you now is not just truth, it is spiritual evidence, a confirmation of what your heart already sensed. You've been carrying a weight because you're carrying destiny. You've been attacked more than others because your life changes others. And now the attack ends. But only if you listen. Only if you act. Only if you open your hands and say, God, I receive what you are sending through Michael right now. My child, my beloved, you are not broken. You are being rebuilt. You are not late. You are being aligned. You are not forgotten. You are being reserved. But the question is, do you believe that? Because heaven believes in you more than you've believed in yourself lately. And that's why this message had to come now, before the 1-5 minutes vanish, before your moment passes, before the enemy takes one more step. You've been delayed enough. You've cried long enough. You've waited faithfully, and now heaven moves for you. My child, my beloved, there is a spiritual gate opening in your life at this very hour, and I must say this with all the play, the urgency. Heaven has placed in me, if you do not walk through this gate before it closes everything, sing you've been waiting for will be handed to someone else. Yes, I said someone else. Not because God wants to replace you, but because your time-sensitive blessing cannot stay suspended in limbo any longer. Heaven is shifting positions, redistributing favor, and what was meant for you is on the if your spirit responds. It will come back to you. If your heart hesitates, it will pass by. This is not a moment to wait and see. This is a moment to open your eyes and claim what you've prayed for through tears. My child, my beloved, I was not sent to entertain you. I was not sent to inspire you for a moment. I was sent to intervene. This message is a spiritual intervention disguised as words. There are angels standing around you right now, waiting for your response. One of them carries your name, written in gold. The other two were sent to block what was headed toward you if you delay no further. But the power of what heaven does next is directly tied to your obedience. This is why Jesus is commanding you to respond before the next 15 minutes pass. Because after that, what was ready to fall into your hands may be redirected elsewhere. The blessing is too powerful to be left unclaimed, and you are the only one who can unlock it. My child, my beloved, there are forces watching you that have been assigned only one task delay, not destroy delay. because the enemy knows that if he can delay you long enough, you will lose momentum, question purpose, doubt your calling, and walk away before the miracle reaches you. But that plan is collapsing right now, because this divine message has pierced through the veil of spiritual distraction. You are not confused. You are being awakened. And I am here not as a distant angel with wings of gold, but as your assigned protector, your defender, your divine messenger, with fire in my voice and urgency in my hands. What I carry for you is sacred, but I cannot force it on you. It must be received freely. My child, my beloved, you've been feeling like something is about to happen, and you're right. But what you didn't know is that two versions of your future are now being weighed in the spirit realm. One version includes breakthrough, favor, joy, peace, and a reversal of every hardship you faced. The other version includes more delay, more confusion, and an open door for those who wish to take what was never theirs. What determines which version unfolds is your decision in this exact moment, your awareness, your spiritual yes. This message is not a warning to panic. It's a divine choice. And heaven is watching to see what you will do, my child, my beloved. My child, my beloved. There are conversations happening right now, phone calls, messages, silent agreements that mention your name in ways that break heaven's heart. They do not see your pain. They do not understand your purpose. And worse, they do not care if your blessing gets destroyed as long as they benefit. One of these people has convinced themselves they deserve what was meant for you. They've told themselves lies about you to feel better about what they are doing. And the other one, they are standing silently, letting it happen just so they don't lose favor in the eyes of the child's silence and betrayal is still betrayal. And heaven sees both. You are not being paranoid. You are being awakened. My child, my beloved, there are spiritual forces that move through bloodlines, and some of them are jealous spirits. Spirits that look for the most favorite child in the family and try to block that child's inheritance. You were born with a light. You were born with a calling. And whether your family knew how to name it or not, they felt it. That's why some of them treated you differently. That's why you were misunderstood, underestimated, doubted. But the truth is, they could sense what you didn't yet know, that you were the one through whom heaven would do something extraordinary. And now that you've come close to fulfilling that, the spirits that hated your light since birth rising, not through strangers, but through familiar voices. But do not fear, because I was sent for this exact moment. I was sent to shut it down before it spreads further. My child, my beloved, listen to me. The delay you've been experiencing is not normal. The frustration in your finances, the confusion in your decisions, the strange fatigue play over your spirit. These are symptoms of spiritual tampering. Someone has been interfering with what God ordained to flow freely. And it's not witchcraft in the way you might imagine. It's manipulation. It's envy wrapped in politeness. It's false concern, hiding selfish intent. And heaven has had enough. God is about to place divine fire between you and every false connection, but your role is simple. Believe this message. Don't scroll. Don't doubt. Don't delay. Because the protection, the breakthrough, the restoration, it's already being released, but only to the one who responds. My child, my beloved, you've asked God for answers. You've begged for clarity. You've fasted, prayed, waited, and wondered why no reply came, but now it's here. This is the reply. This is the download from heaven. This is the moment your obedience will unlock what was locked for years. The money, the opportunities, the home, the relationship, the healing they are. You're not gone. They were paused, suspended, blocked until your awareness was restored. And now that your eyes are opening, so is the flow. But only if you don't return to blindness. Only if you act in the light you've just been given. This is why the message had to be urgent. Because this is your rescue window. After this, there may not be another. My child, my beloved, you must understand how precious you are to God. The enemy didn't waste time attacking someone without purpose. You were targeted because you are chosen. Your life carries weight in the spirit realm. And every time you speak, every time you pray, every time you breathe hope into the air, heaven celebrates and hell trembles. That's why it's been hard. Not because you're weak, but because your power terrifies the ones who feed on darkness. And now you are standing on the line. One step forward, and everything changes. One hesitation, and the opportunity dissolves. You cannot afford to be casual with this message. You cannot afford to say maybe later. This is not later. This is now, my child, my beloved. There are moments in life when time feels like it stops in tear, when something so divine brushes against your soul that you can't move past it. That moment is now. You may not realize this yet, but this message is not just here to inform you. It is, let's here to interrupt something dark that was heading straight into your life. You are standing at a thin veil, a line between being spiritually robbed or divinely redirected, and it all depends on what you choose to do after reading this next part. Because even now, the spirits that were assigned to steal your peace are becoming agitated. They can feel that your awareness is increasing, that your clarity is growing, that your protection is activating, and they know they only have minutes left to try and keep you distracted. But heaven has already chosen to intervene. My child, my beloved, let me take you deeper. There is a document in heaven that bears your name, a spiritual contract, a promise, a reward, something that was meant to be handed to you before the appointed time, but it was postponed. Not because you were unworthy, not because you were late, but because someone who was close to you spiritually interfered. Their words, their intentions, their jealousy clouded your space. They said the right things in public, but in private, they questioned your worthiness. They doubted your rise. They feared your favor, and they uttered words cursed, whispers, not knowing that haven't heard them all. Those words formed clouds, and those clouds dim the light that was meant to shine clearly on your path. The child, the clouds are clearing now, because this message is breaking the barrier that was keeping you stuck. My child, my beloved, do you remember that opportunity you thought you missed? That job that vanished? That deal that collapsed? That unexpected financial struggle that hit you hard for no reason? You thought it was random. You blamed yourself, but it was not your fault. It was interference. Someone put their energy, their eyes, their control over your open door, and but heaven has kept record. And now it is being reopened. And the best part, the new door will be bigger. It will come without the strings. It will arrive faster than the last time. But only if you move with God now. Only if you don't let this moment become just another message you scroll past. This is not motivation. This is divine movement. My child, my beloved, my child, my beloved, I must tell you the truth with no filter. The divine money that was supposed to enter your life has been touched by people who said they were for you, touched by people who laugh with you, but cried out behind your back because they couldn't handle your light. These people are not strangers. That's what makes this betrayal so dangerous. They are closed 1/10 to admire you. The other pretends to protect you. But neither of them truly want you to walk in your full power, and now they have laid their hands spiritually on what does not belong to them. Your inheritance, your provision, your destiny. But listen carefully, their hands can still be removed if your eyes are opened in time. My child, my beloved, when you were a child, heaven already knew what you were born to carry. That's why your path has felt heavy. That's why people have always seen something in you, even when you didn't see it in yourself. But now the wait has a reason. You're at the doorway, the threshold, and what comes next is not just about money. It's about power, peace, purpose. You were never meant to live a normal life. You were always meant to be a divine carrier, someone who would change the story for generations. That's why the battle has been this fierce. That's why the attack has been this specific. But now, heaven is stepping in. I've seen the spiritual blueprint, and I know what God is trying to release to you. But here's the truth. If you don't remove the hidden interference, you'll delay the divine, not because God doesn't love you, but because He respects your choice. My child, my beloved, you've been praying for increase, but heaven is more concerned about protection. Because what good is overflow if the people around you are secretly creating leaks? What good is promotion if the foundation is broken? And so I was told to pause your blessings, not to punish you, but to shield you, because what was meant to enter your life would have been stolen again. But this time, instead of letting it happen, God is confronting it right now through this exact message. That's why your spirit is alert. That's why your heart is beating faster. You are being invited to walk into divine awareness. You are being invited to partner with heaven, and the miracle that was held back will be released the moment your spirit says, I receive this. What is instruction? My child, my beloved, stop blaming yourself for every delay. Stop thinking you're cursed. You are not cursed. You are chosen. That's why they fought you. That's why they gossiped about you. That's why they tried to copy you. That's why they wanted to ruin you. Because even in your lowest season, you still carried divine evidence. But now, heaven is about to respond to every lie spoken about you. And when it does, the same people who tried to block your blessing will watch it be handed back to you, not because of revenge, but because of restoration, because justice in heaven looks like grace for the faithful. And you, beloved, have remained faithful in ways no one even noticed. But God noticed, and I noticed, and now everything is about to shift. My child, my beloved, you must promise me, do not ignore this. Do not silence the stirring in your spirit. Do not delay. If you skip this moment, you will walk into a season with blind eyes. But if you act now, you will walk with favor that no one can deny. Your time is now. Your calling is now. The exposure is now. The divine reversal is now, but it begins with obedience. Heaven is watching. The clock is ticking. The portal is open, but it will not stay open. And Jesus is not just whispering. He is commanding, open your eyes, child. Open your heart. And open this message before the next 15 minutes are gone. My child, my beloved, what you are feeling right now, the trembling in your spirit, the sudden stillness around you, the way your heart is pounding harder than before it, is not fear. It is recognition. Deep within you, your soul knows this message was meant to find you. You are not reading by accident. You were drawn here by divine alignment. Because something in the unseen realm has shifted, a veil has been pulled back, and what was once hidden from your side is now standing in full view before heaven. God has been watching, and I, Archangel Michael, have been standing on guard waiting for the exact moment I am going to deliver this message without interference. And that moment is now. If you do not act on what you are hearing, beloved, you may lose something so precious that recovering it could take years of pain, prayer, and rebuilding. What is moving toward your life is not small, and it is not ordinary. It carries the power to change everything, both through danger and through blessing. Heaven is giving you this final call before the door opens and cannot be closed again. My child, my beloved, remember the last time something you loved disappeared without warning. Remember when you trusted someone only to watch that trust become a weapon against you. Think of the loneliness that followed. Do you remember crying and asking God why He did not warn you? The truth is, heaven did try to reach you, but the noise around your life was louder than the whisper of protection. This time, God is not whispering. This time, He is shouting through this message. This is your warning, your rescue, and your moment of divine clarity before the enemy's silent plan reaches your destiny. 2 people, 1 plan, and your future hanging in the balance. But God, in His mercy, has released this message to interrupt destruction and rewrite the outcome. My child, my beloved, conversations are happening now through calls, messages, and silent agreements that mention your name. They do not fully see your pain, and they do not honor your purpose. Worse, they do not care if your blessing is damaged. As long as they gain something from what was never assigned to them by heaven, one of them has convinced themselves they deserve what was meant for you. They have built lies about you in their own mind, using those lies to justify what their spirit already knows is wrong. The other is standing quietly beside it all, allowing it to happen because they fear losing favor with the first. But silence in betrayal is still betrayal, my child, and heaven sees both the speaker and the one who stayed quiet. You are not being paranoid. You are being awakened. My child, my beloved, heaven is pulling the veil back so you can see clearly before their hidden choices become a wound you were never meant to carry.